Well, hello to you. This is Faith Yadida Span, and I wanted to take a moment just to stop and introduce myself to you because I realize some people don't know who I am. And so let me just start with this. I am a woman who loves God and so glad that He loves me. I found out one day that He did. I don't think I knew that before. And I'm a mom. I have a beautiful daughter. I am the author of this book, and I know some of you have it. Don't Give Up, Acknowledging the Struggle, Celebrating Resilience. I'm a motivational speaker because I like to push people to get out of their own way and start to move on forward into their next. And I'm also a coach, and that's another place where I get to push people. I have a coaching program called Coaching with Friends because coaching is good by yourself. We do that also, but it's also great with friends. And so I wrote this curriculum. You know, I was actually prophesied to more than once that I was going to write curriculums and manuscripts, and it was going to be like a download straight from heaven. And that's what this felt like when I was writing it. It was just like I could feel the presence of the Lord, and there were times when I would literally stop and my hands would just go up, and I would be rejoicing and praising God for the people who were going to stop and take a moment to actually invest in themselves, you know, just to like reflect, to stop. Because one thing about life and time just keeps going. It just goes and it goes. And if you and I don't take intentional moments to stop and to reflect and to think about, why do I think this way about this? Or why do I feel, you know, this way? Why does that make me cringe a little bit? Sometimes that's because there are some things that we need to work through with God, some unresolved things, maybe some roots of bitterness, or maybe there's some offense that we've experienced, some areas where we need to forgive. And so that is what this curriculum is about. It's going to cause you to stop and to reflect. You know, I say when I get started, like, bring your favorite pen, get your favorite notebook, or get yourself a journal, and get ready to just sit down with your cup of tea or water or whatever it is and take time out for yourself to actually listen and reflect once again. And so in the curriculum, we're going to talk about a couple of things, and we're going to do some things together. For this time that you have the curriculum, just consider me to be a coach to you, right? And so I'm going to look at things like forgiveness. We're going to look at things like isolation, because one thing that I did find out is a lot of people, many people, and I did it myself when I was going through one of the most traumatic events. Well, actually, there was more than one, but I think about the death of my mom, and also when I was actually duped in a relationship. And that was hard, you know, finding out that the person, their identity and even their name wasn't even real, the one that they gave me, but the Lord let me find out, right? And so I had to learn how to turn that thing over to God. I had to learn how to face it, because sometimes we go through things and we want to turn away from it, you know, just because it's so painful. But sooner or later, it benefits us as we start to face it and faith it with God. And so in the curriculum, we talk about that isolation versus consecration, because it's not good for us to isolate and shut people out for elongated periods of time. It's just too much. We have to have some type of community with people who not just tolerate us, but who celebrate and love us. And so if you haven't found that yet, don't you worry. You just keep on going. You keep on praying and believing God that He will bring that wonderful, healthy community around you. And so we also look at celebration, because I believe it's important to celebrate. I believe it's important to celebrate your now on the way to your next, because your now is just as important as your next is. Look at the caterpillar. It's a caterpillar. Like, normally people are like, ew, we don't like that caterpillar, it's so yucky. But it's the caterpillar that has a beginning, that goes to this place where it reaches a part of the process where there is transformation. And in that part, though, it's almost like it's not going to come out of that chrysalis. But God already knew that it would. He created it so. And finally, when it does come out, it has to push. It has to push against something that's trying to hold it and to encase it. If it doesn't push, it's not going to get out. So that's like with us. We have to push sometimes. I got to get out of this last phase of my life, right? And so it pushes out, it becomes a butterfly, and we get to enjoy the beauty and the brilliance and the magnificent colors of that butterfly. But it never would get there if it didn't push through the process, okay? And so we have that there, and we have celebrating your snapback and imperfectly perfected. We're going to talk about that because perfection is a killer of dreams and even purpose. But if you want to operate in excellence and the perfection of man, because man will look and say, oh, this doesn't look right on you, and this is not good, and that's not good. But living in perfection of God, the way that he sees you, the way that he adores you is totally different. And so we talk about that in the curriculum and so many other things. And I give you a space to journal also if you're someone who likes to kind of type on the computer like I do. The main thing is I want you to get started. Okay? Today. I want you to get started today. We push so many things back. Oh, maybe I'll do it later next time. And then it's a month and it's a year and you just haven't progressed the way that you could. So do things for you, because one thing that we've discovered in the past couple of months is that time waits for no one. It just doesn't. And we want to use this life that God has given us, this gift, to the best of our ability. And so you've got it right there. Go ahead. I don't know if you're already in the curriculum. Get started. Go ahead. Sit quietly. Do this for you. It's very important. I also want you to kind of come on over to some of the other pages that I have, which is on Instagram, Faith Yadida Span. I'm encouraging and motivating over there. It's something that's a gift to me, something I love to do. Then there's also the website, yadidaspan.com, or Faith Works Empowered. And also on Facebook, Faith Span, Faith Yadida Span. There's a group there. There's a Don't Give Up group where I'm going to start doing a lot in there to encourage you, even from some of the other chapters of this book, because encouragement and inspiration and motivation are important for all of our lives. And so there's a podcast also, and I'm going to kind of link all of these things together so that you can just see them in one place. But until then, go to Spotify if you have Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or whichever one you're using, and look for Pep Talk. And so you might see Pep Talk with Faith. You should see my face there or something. Or you can even go to, let me think now, on Spreaker. It's there also. So there's Pep Talk, Unapologetically Purple, where I talk about a caregiver, epilepsy, all of those things, have a lot of knowledge there. It's all for you. So get started with the curriculum. I want to get off. I'm looking at the timer. It's about 7 going on 8 minutes. I want you to get started. Do this for you. Realize that you matter. And just start to accept that you face it and then you faith it, because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Go ahead, get started.